Hello my friends, it is August the 30th of 2022. This video is entitled 5 Underrated Albums. Okay, so this is going to be a very subjective list. Okay, these are 5 albums that I feel are underrated, and I'm going to explain to you as to why I feel that they are underrated. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so coming up first is Immortal with All Shall Fall. This album came out in 2009. To me, this is just a solid album. I know that a lot of Immortal fans don't particularly like it, and I know that a lot of other black metal fans aren't too keen on it either, but to me it is just a solid album. I suppose I can understand why some people don't like it, but to me it is just an incredible album. Very well written, lots of very memorable songs in here, great riffs, great vocals, great melodies. The production is just solid, excellent production, very clear, very modern sounding. All the instrumentation is just very audible, and yeah, excellent stuff. I just feel like this is just a very, very well written album. Yeah, to me it sounds great. I mean, I can understand that a lot of it, like Immortal fans, aren't particularly fond of it because it definitely sounds quite a bit different than their earlier material. For me personally, I'm not a big fan of their earlier stuff. Some of it I do enjoy, but I'm definitely more of a fan of their later material, and yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite Immortal albums. Okay, so yeah, that is Immortal with the All Shall Fall. Enslaved with Vertebrae. This album came out in 2008. I'm a huge fan of Enslaved. Okay, I can understand why people maybe weren't or aren't too keen on this album. Definitely sounds quite a bit different, I suppose, from especially from their earlier type albums. They definitely went to a little bit more of a proggy kind of direction here. You can definitely hear a lot of like classic prog rock influences going on here, but yeah, it's just such a good album, such a well-written album. There's just so much emotion and feeling in these songs, and the production and everything, the guitar solos, the vocals, there's just so much going on, and the songs are just very memorable. Yeah, just so many great melodies going on here. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I can understand why some fans of Enslaved or other like black metal fans maybe aren't too keen on this album, but to me it is just a solid album, like a 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah, I really enjoyed this album, and yeah, I'm a big Enslaved fan. I definitely enjoy their more kind of mid to late period albums. I mean, their earlier stuff is good too, but I'm definitely more of a fan of their mid to later material, and yeah, this is a solid album. Okay, all right, so that is Enslaved with Vertebrae. Turakon with The Age of Nero. This came out in 2008. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Turakon. Again, I can understand why some people, or especially like fans of Turakon or other black metal fans, aren't too keen on this album. I understand that. I mean, it's a fair bit different from their earlier albums. Yeah, so they were definitely going into a different direction around this period, and had been for some time. Okay, this was actually the first album that I ever bought from Turakon, and yeah, I just love this album so much. It's just a great album. I just really enjoyed it. I love the production. It's just so tight. There's just so much crunch and heaviness. Yeah, it's very, very good. It's very dark and heavy. It definitely has more kind of a groove going on. Yeah, it definitely was taking in more influences from some other genres. Okay, so yeah, they were definitely kind of removing themselves from that traditional type of black metal sound, and it had been for some time. So this album definitely sounds a fair bit different from their earlier albums, and so I can understand why some fans aren't too keen on it. But to me, it is just a solid album, very well written. So many memorable songs here, just full of just incredible riffs. The vocals are fantastic, and everything about it, the drumming especially, is really good. Yeah, great album. I really enjoyed. Okay, so yeah, that is Turakon with The Age of Nero. Mayhem with Esoteric Warfare. This came out in 2014. I definitely enjoy Mayhem. They're not one of my favorite bands. I'm not too familiar with them. I do have some of their other albums, and this one right here is definitely my favorite Mayhem album. I know that most Mayhem fans would never choose this album, but to me it is just a solid album, and I don't really know why it gets some of the dislike that it does, because it's a really very good album, and very well written. The production is just incredible. It's definitely more kind of progressive sounding. There's just lots of different elements going on. It's more technical, I would say, than some of their especially earlier material. Yeah, it's a great album. The songwriting is just incredible throughout this entire album. Lots of memorable songs here. Great guitar playing, drumming is just fantastic. Great vocals. Yeah, to me, this is just a solid album. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Mayhem fan. I do enjoy some of their music, and this one right here is, like I said, definitely my favorite Mayhem album. But yeah, great stuff. I really enjoy this album. Okay, so yeah, that is Mayhem with the Esoteric Warfare. Okay, and the last album on my list is Emperor with Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. This came out in 2001. I mean, with this particular album right here, I feel like it gets overlooked oftentimes within the Emperor discography. So many Emperor fans and like black metal fans just tend to observe their earlier albums, like in the Night Side Eclipse and those earlier albums. To me, this one is just solid. I really enjoy this album so much. This is definitely my favorite Emperor album, and most people choose this as their least favorite Emperor album, and I don't understand that because it is just a solid album. It's definitely, in my opinion, better than their earlier material. The production is just solid. The songwriting is just incredible here. It's very heavy and progressive sounding. So many great riffs, the vocals, the drumming, everything. There's just a great list of songs here. Yeah, I really enjoy this album, and unfortunately, like I said, it just tends to get overlooked, overshadowed by their earlier albums, but and it's very unfortunate. I find that this one tends to not be as like the other ones, because it is just such a great album. Very good. I strongly encourage those people who maybe overlooked this album to definitely check it out, because it's fantastic. Okay, all right, so that is Emperor with Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. Okay, so that is my list of 5 underrated albums. Of course, this is a very subjective list. People are gonna obviously have varying opinions, and that's fine. This is my list, and this is how I feel. Okay, but let me know what you think. Leave some comments. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Tell me some albums that you feel are underrated. Okay, I'm very curious to know. Okay, so I want to say thank you very much for watching, and I want to say thanks to all the people who watch my videos and subscribe to my channel. I really truly appreciate it. Okay, so take care, my friends. Cheers.